Yo, what's happening, TNT? Coach Chris right here. Been a little minute, but been busy. Been like that duck that's sitting on the pond. You see him floating, and it just looks like he's just chilling, just coasting on top of the waves, on top of the water of that pond. But you can look beneath the surface of the water, look a little deeper. You see his feet paddling. He's working, he's moving. Look like it's just all good. He's not doing nothing, but he's busy. So that's what I've been on. But I wanted to touch on this topic of how what we eat translates over into our behavior and some of the decisions that we make. And I gotta start with this big one. The first thing that I cut from my diet on my journey to eating healthy was chitlins. Or as I call them, shitlins. Pig intestines. Okay? Now, 2014, almost 2015. And we still have people eating this stuff. And do I need to explain why we shouldn't? Well, yes, I do, because there's a lot of people that still eat this stuff. Now, let me give an example. Say I have a plate, or I have a plate and it's your plate in your home, and I take a poop on your plate. Okay? The plate, one of the dishes that you eat off of. You will feel probably disrespected and want to put me out your house and all kinds of things. But what if I come back and say, well, I washed it, I cleaned it, here, now you can eat off of it. You probably wouldn't want to eat off of that plate. You would just throw it away and, start with something else. Eat off of something else. Why? Even though I cleaned it off, you still feel that there may be some residue on it or something, or even mentally it just is nasty. From a mental standpoint, you don't want to think about what was on here while you eating your spaghetti or eating whatever it is that you eat. You don't want to think about what was once on this plate. So when we talk about eating chitlins, pig intestines, this is what carries the waste, the poop of the pig throughout its entire life. This is if I just pooped on your plate for one time, we're not talking about a lifetime, but one time you would want to throw the plate away. But a lifetime of carrying waste is what's in these intestines, and you want to clean them and say that it's okay. I can eat them. They taste good. There's no way, no possible way you can boil out all of the toxins of the waste material, of the fecal matter. There's no way. There's still some left in there. I mean, it's in the materials, in the so-called meat. It's in the intestine. That's why you can never get rid of the smell, because it's in it. You are what you eat. So the intestines become made of waste, which is what pigs eat. Pigs eat the most. They eat anything. So their organs, your skin, every living thing regenerates itself based on what it nourishes itself with. So the intestines will never be cleaned thoroughly enough to be devoid of what it carries. And it carries waste for the entire life of that pig, and we want to eat that and just put hot sauce on it and say it tastes good. It doesn't matter if I go number 2 on that plate, and you got your favorite food on that plate, whether it's a pizza or a hamburger or ice cream or whatever your favorite food is, you're still not gonna want your favorite food no matter how good it tastes, because you know that I went number 2 on that plate. But because it's a pig, for some reason we feel like, it's okay. So for those of you that agree with what I'm saying and know that what I'm saying makes sense, but still choose to eat those chitlins, okay, this translates over to a lot of poor decision making that we make in life. Okay, we know something is not good for us. We know something is nasty. We know something is hurting us, but we choose to do it anyway. This is not just with food. This could be your job. Your job could be toxic. It could be draining you. It could be killing you. But you won't leave it alone because you're comfortable. You've gotten used to it. Just like we grew up eating chitlins, so we don't want to leave them alone. You know, our parents and grandparents ate that stuff, so we feel like we should continue the tradition. You know, just like at that job, your mom or dad worked there or worked a similar job for their entire life, so you feel like you should too, even though you know it's not good for you, it's not healthy. You know, there's something good about it, which is like with the chitlins, the thing that's good about it to you is the taste. But ultimately, it's not good for you. You know, so the same thing with your job. You know, the people that you work with, your co-workers, or the environment that you work in, the atmosphere, you know, what it is that you do. It could just be mentally stressful. It could be physically demanding. You could work at, you know, I've worked in jobs at, you know, at a paint factory where I was breathing in toxic chemicals. You know, I was the only one wearing a respirator because it wasn't mandatory by OSHA standards. So it wasn't healthy for me to be there. And other job, oil refinery, you know, it's a lot of places that you find yourself in that ultimately may have something good, which is like the pay. You know, it pays well, but ultimately you're killing yourself, you know, in some form or fashion. And so it's not best for you ultimately. There's another way. But it's not easy to leave it alone, so we continue to do it. You know, whether it's the food, whether it's the job, whether it's a relationship. You know, we with somebody, but because the sex is good, you know, we'll put up with a million other reasons why we should leave this situation alone. Or because they make a lot of money, we'll deal with all the other toxic aspects of the relationship. You know, so when you take on this type of mentality of, I know it's not good for me, but I'm going to do it anyway just because, it's, you know, that is a damaging mental paradigm. It's a destructive way of thinking. You know, that is it's very there's a lot of self-hatred tied into that. I don't feel like I don't love myself enough to say no. So I'm just going to stay addicted, even though I know I should leave it alone. At least say within yourself, I'm on a journey to do differently or to do better. You know, there's steps you can take to wean yourself off. You don't just have to accept what you know is not good for you because it's comfortable to you or you're used to doing it. Okay, we have to break the cycle. We can't continue to ignore the things that we should not do because it's comforting to us, you know, because there's one good thing, and we let that one good thing trump the 10 bad things. So whether it's the food, whether it's the job, the relationship, you know, the neighborhood you live in, the school that you go to, you know, there's a number of things that we must always look at and want to elevate to the highest level possible and not just settle. Okay, so there are alternatives to eating chitlins. You don't have to keep eating that stuff, especially when you know and you understand what it is you're putting in your body. So the way in which we look at this food and the mentality behind it translates to other areas of our life. Okay? Spirit, mind, body in training. That's the Trinity. TNT. We got to be about this truth. Get back at y'all in a minute. 1.